Okay, there are going to be three types of people who are going to be watching this video. Friends and family, those who clicked on it for one half of the title, and those who clicked on it for the other half of the title. So, bear with me, because this channel is supposed to be quite literally a video log to help me remember things and to keep track of things. And I think this area is a bit too loud, so once I finish this, we'll go somewhere quiet to finish up what I have to say. Okay, so outfit change because I was absolutely covered in calf slobber and goat hair. So basically, I'm going to go through this video and I'm going to summarize everything that's happened in the last week or so that led up to me having some fun. I went to the Straykids concert, which would be part of what's in the title, but as a job, I farm. So I have conglomerated all of my farming footage at the beginning of this video. All the Straykids stuff will be at the end of the video, and I kind of planned it that way just so that people can kind of like skip around if they need to or want to, because they don't care about farming or they don't care about K-pop. So yes, we'll start from there. Friday last week, I climbed a silo. I'm gonna make a different video on that, so it doesn't really matter. Monday, we worked in the field that we were trying to stick and rock pick. We only got an hour done, and then we came home because of how hot it was. It was 34 degrees C. And we cleaned the parlor for the rest of the day, and then I had also, when we got back, I had sent half our team home so that they could rest and be recovered. On Tuesday, we rock picked / stick picked again. We only got an hour and a half in, and then we quit because it was again too hot. Me and the employee I needed later that day, we ended up going swimming. However, I sent the rest of the team home. We're giving up on that field for now, so I have no idea how harvest is going to go. We're going to have to see how that goes. Also, what happened on Tuesday was my dad cut hay. Okay, so this is where it gets a little messy because it's a little bit confusing. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I cleaned barns. That means I took out all of the bedding packs and redid the beddings. I did a barn per day. Wednesday was a little bit busy because I didn't start early enough, so the entire day was filled with me trying to clean that barn. And then Thursday and Friday, I started early enough to be done at lunch. Now, something happened after I cleaned barns every single day that time. So on Wednesday, during milking, it absolutely poured. So that meant that all of the hay my dad had cut got wet. There wasn't much we could do, so it was a game of leaving it to dry. Thursday in the afternoon, I ended up giving boosters, Tasvax boosters, to the spring group, so they're vaxxed. Friday, we tried to bale and collect all of the bale that had come from the hay crop that had gotten rained on. During bale collection, this happened. It would be really fucking nice to turn off the fucking sky! So you can see that we got rained on. Now, we might have lost a bunch of bales, and we're gonna have to keep an eye on spontaneous combustion and stuff like that. That's kind of how the week went. Saturday, I spent the entire day running around like a maniac, trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done and prepped so that it was less work when I was gone. And the reason I was gone was because I went to the Straykids concert. I'm gonna kind of go through how the day went, and it's gonna be a little kind of all over the place, but I'm gonna try and be as quick in summary as I can. I had to help with morning milking because it was the weekend. We normally don't have people on the weekend. We have one girl who comes in the mornings, otherwise it's the family. So I was up at 4:40 or so in the morning. We usually start milking at 5:30 or so, but I wanted to get a head start on things just so I could be gone sooner. my little brother came out
Thank you,
at about
Simon.
7 or so, took over from me, and that relieved me to go get ready. So we bought tickets in November or so. Basically, as soon as they were released, we bought tickets. We knew that the concert was going to be in the summer. We knew it was going to be hot. Me and my friend, we tried to organize outfits that we thought would be fun and cute and stuff for the concert that would be weather appropriate and also be appropriate for the fact that we're going to be singing and dancing the entire time. So I chose to do a stylized version of an outfit that one of the members wore on live stream. That live stream in itself never fails to make me laugh or smile or make my day a lot better. That outfit also had the added benefit of being just about primarily exercise clothing. So I was able to wear that. I didn't know if I was going to be able to wear the hat or the jacket, and I was right, it was much too hot. What ended up happening was I ended up wearing the pants and the shirt and of course the jewelry. However, it was so hot and I was moving around so much, I did end up taking off the shirt and just being in a sports bra and the pants. Now we've gotten to the point where I can discuss kind of the going and things that happened. So the drive there, because I'm in Ottawa, the show is in Toronto. It was a 4-hour drive. The drive there was pretty fun actually. Me and my friend had a lot of fun just jamming in the car and hanging out. So that was fun.
Toronto, they ride your ass.
Yup.
In the lovely Ottawa, we know to give space. We know.
Yeah, because I know we're gonna get brake checked.
Ain't nobody know how to fucking drive.
Car, boom, boom, boom. The busing to get from where we parked to the train station was a little stressful, not gonna lie, but I've never been on a bus before, so it might just be on par with how busing normally is. And the subway was actually pretty nice, it was pretty chill, a lot less stressful than the bus. And then the venue. We got there early and it was confusing and a little chaotic, but it was still somehow smooth. At least getting in was. And maybe it was because we were early and we weren't with a huge amount of people, but still a pretty large amount of people. The venue at that time, it seemed understaffed, and or the staffing wasn't trained right, and or they were incredibly inexperienced, which is all very understandable for the first show, but it was the first show ever done in that stadium. It was fine. We were there so early that we actually got to see sound check from the outside.
There's the hat!
Which was really fun. So, getting to our seats. That was pretty smooth and pretty easy. The seats were pretty easily labeled and it was fine in terms of that. We were on the floor, so it wasn't that difficult. Then, while we were sitting there, my mom did check in on us and it was very funny. So, I would like to talk about how they started the show. So, they kind of just layered and built the hype. And so, the show started with level 1, and that was an on-screen display of an intro to kind of like the Straykids verse. It had a lot of intro of like just the members, and they were just looking cool as they were walking around, and it was really fun to see, and really well done, of course. Then there was level 2, where a dancer came on stage and started interacting with what they had going on the screens, which was also very, very fun. And that's when they started incorporating the sound, so the sound was building as they were playing around with stuff on the screen. Level 3 was they added more music. They had an epic dance set of like just flag work and having a lot of fun on stage. And this is all, mind you, all in the intro. Level 4 is they added pyrotechnics to everything that was going on. So the screen's going, the dancers are going, the music is starting, and they added the pyrotechnics. So they had flames, and then they had fireworks, all at the start.
Hot, let's go!
And then the members came out, and this happened. So, needless to say, that's the vibe of the concert summarized. It was hype all the way through. It was fantastic, and I had a great time. Now, I kind of want to talk about notable stages. The dance stage. epic, and it was so much fun to watch. And I really loved how the mashup they chose was built of a bunch of the songs that they weren't going to be playing that night. And I really appreciated that because it at least paid homage to a lot of their songs where it's like, we know you love this song. Here, have something. And the dance was just incredible. I loved it so much. The band intro, they were so chill, but so incredibly talented, and they looked like they were having so much fun, and I absolutely loved it. I just love like musicians just jamming and having fun, and that's how they introed, with like big lights on the screens, and it was fantastic. And then later on, the members both paid a lot of respect and attention to the dance crew and to the musicians that were also on stage with them, which I loved so much because everyone there needed to be appreciated. They also appreciated staff, and that was just, it was so lovely. We're gonna get into some of the like actual set stages. Giant, I hated that inflatable prop, and it wasn't the fact that the prop was the problem, it was how it inflated and how it deflated. Its uncurlings of its fingers? No! But it's fine because I was so distracted by the members dancing and putting on one hell of a performance that I only noticed when it was inflating and deflating. But it was epic, so I mean, I can't really complain at all. Something else that happened that was memorable, the members got distracted by a bug.
So apparently,
You know what? The last city, gun fly tackle. In this city, Beetle. Yeah. Oh. Beetle. Yeah.
Oh no.
I know Christmas Beetles. You know Christmas Beetles. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, the big one.
Yeah, like the brown. I'm sorry. Let's move on.
No, let's keep this segment going. Yeah.
What I found also incredibly interesting about how this was structured was they said their intro a couple songs into the show, and then they also said their outro.
No. Littler than I expected. They could fit in my trunk.
Like halfway to about 2/3 into the show. So you didn't necessarily know when the show was ending, and I very much appreciate that. But that was very, very much a strategic choice in terms of how the show was going to play out. And that was really epic. I actually really enjoyed that. So with those stages kind of mentioned and that kind of acknowledged and all of that garbage that I was spewing, I kind of want to talk about exiting. Me and my friend, our experience was that we didn't really have that big of a problem. We were in and out relatively quickly. Again, the venues and specifically the staff seemed really disorganized. They seemed underprepared, and I don't think they really understood the culture and climate and general community that the K-pop fandom is. So when the mass exodus happened, they had set up like flow traffic stops, I guess, for the population, and there wasn't a lot of communication that was happening from staff to goers. So a lot of people were very confused and very upset about what was going on, but I understand why they were doing what they were doing, because the amount of people that were flooding the GO train and the subway were genuinely a safety hazard, and they were doing what they could. But again, there was one guy with a megaphone, and that was all I saw. So in terms of that, I think they could have done better. But again, this was the first show at that stadium ever. So it's one of those things where I hope everybody is safe, and I hope everybody got home okay. The subway was fine.
I'll go on the damn tracks if I want to.
It was pretty packed, but very manageable. Buses, oh my god. We were sardines in a can, and it was crazy. There was a mom and her two daughters who had been at the show with us, and she was from Alberta. Her daughter's bag broke, so I gave her my bag out of my pocket, and it was just one of those things where it was like everyone who was leaving the concert were all just like, okay, let's get home safe. So I hope that they got home safe, and I hope that they're okay. After we got off the bus and everything, by the time we got to our car, it was like 2 a.m. or something like that. And if you don't know, there's not a lot of places that are open at 2 a.m. for food. So what we ended up deciding to do was we went to a Wendy's drive-thru and we just got drinks because they were closing in like 15 minutes. And then we got food on the way home on the en route, and we drove home. So another little tidbit about me that's a little bit of TMI is that I don't drink coffee and I don't drink caffeinated beverages because I think they all taste gross. However, that also meant that I didn't really have a lot of energy come 2 a.m. And I think the 22 hours of being awake is when my body finally started to give up. And so for the car ride, I started falling asleep off and on for like 20 to 30 minute intervals at like every 20 to 30 minutes or so. So we watched the sunrise from the car. I got home at about 6:50, and at that point, chores was already halfway through and everybody was halfway done, and we were fully staffed because everybody knew I was going to be gone. And so I just went to bed. And then I got up at 11 and I worked on this video until night chores specifically, and then I went out and I did my chores, and that was kind of the day. So as I have said in the past, I am not very good at documenting what I do. So when I go and do something fun, I tend to not be on my phone at all. And I was very proud of myself this time. I took a fair amount of video. And so here are some epic moments that happened during the show that I managed to catch. And there were so many more I wish I could have caught, but I wasn't living through my phone. And I was living there, and I was dancing and I was screaming and I was having so much fun. And they will live in my mind forever, and it's so nice to have little snippets where I can just pull back from. So here's a compilation of some epic times that I had at the concert, and I am sorry for the demon screaming.
You guys are loud. Wow.
You guys are really, really loud. Alright, group 4, good job. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, you guys all did a great job. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to do it all together, but there's a little bit of a problem because now we have to wait till a plane goes by.
Nice!
Alright. The screen's coming up.
as of now, it is July 1st. I am still recovering, but it was amazing and so worth it. So, on to next week.